Hello, my fellow freedom fighters. Welcome back. I'm going to go through the current cycle that we are in. As you probably gathered, if you've seen my other videos, I avoid blurb, I avoid the bullshit. I like to just keep it real because I look after myself and I look after my own investments with my own capital. And that is super important to understand. My background, homeless, built a business over 32 years from the age of 19, sold it to private equity, investor capital, always invested in the property market, in cryptocurrencies, gold, silver, all sorts of things. So I make it my business to understand what is going on in the world. And I like to share what I've become to know with everybody that is willing to listen. Subscribe if you want, don't if you don't want to, no problem at all. I just like to share to help. So look, everything's heading towards a rebirth, a civilization reset. And after all this chaos through Brexit and COVID and debt and war, inflation, actually life can get better. But before it gets better, of course, we have to deal with the chaos and understand more about what's going on. So when you are more fully informed, you can make better decisions financially and personally for you and for your family. So this is the story of the fourth turning, a cycle that predicts the biggest shift in our lives by certainly 2032, maybe 2035. So stay with me because what happens next will affect your freedom, your money, and of course your future. So bear with me. So what is the fourth turning? Well, the fourth turning is a theory of historical cycles developed by William Strauss and Neil Howe. They say that every 80 to 100 years, Western societies go through a crisis that tears down old systems and rebuilds new ones. Each cycle is broken into 4 stages, a bit like seasons really. So the current fourth turning since 2008, which of course was the big financial crisis with the Lehman Brothers, etc., will probably last through to 2032. Which seems to be typical when you look back at history. So the financial collapse was Brexit, global disorder, and of course it's all part of the fourth turning. So the 2008 financial crisis marked the collapse of trust in global finance and of course institutions. Brexit, good old UK Brexit, 2016 exposed deep divisions in the UK identity and sovereignty. With COVID-19, in 2020, I've got a particular view on that as well, but that's probably for another time or I might get banned, triggered mass government control and economic intervention. So rising I can't even say the word, authoritarianism, digital ID, inflation, geopolitical, all that instability, Ukraine war, Middle East, which is of course now ongoing with Iran and the recent sort of bombings there. Institutions, Parliament, NHS, police, the monarchy, deeply distrusted. And it's not surprising. I myself, distrust. I'm a very cynical, very curious and sort of suspicious kind of person when it comes to any government establishment. We're in the fourth turning now. It's likely to culminate in a major political, economic, and military restructuring by 2032. So previous fourth turnings, of course, were 1929 to 1946. You can sort of see the timeline there. The crisis, the Great Depression, World War II. Why was it the fourth turning? Well, 1929, the stock market crashed. It began a global depression and mass unemployment. 1930s was the fascist movement and authoritarian regimes rose across Europe. World War II, of course, 1939 to 1945, brought existential threat to Western civilization, and the UK endured the Blitz, of course, the bombings in London in particular, rationing, conscription, calling up people to fight in the wars, and total mobilization. Post-1945, so after 1945, new institutions were created. So the NHS, the welfare state, United Nations, and of course Bretton Woods and NATO. This fourth turning reset the global order and ushered in the post-war high, 1946 to 64. So earlier fourth turnings were 1773 and 1794. So that this civilization reset was the American Revolution, French Revolution, UK angle, imperial shake-up and war. So why was it the fourth turning? Well, the American Revolution, 1775 to 1783, challenged the British Empire and cost it a major colony. And the French Revolution, 1789 to 1799, triggered fear and repression in Britain. So a period of deep ideological conflict, rising democratic sentiment and economic volatility. Sound familiar? Britain faced radicalism at home, so Chartism roots, war abroad and pressure to reform. This fourth turning ended the old aristocratic order and began a modern nation state era with early capitalism and empire expansion. So, turning mood, UK example. First high unity order, 1946 to 64, NHS, post-World War II, boom. The second was the Awakening Rebellion. The third was the Unraveling Division of Decay. And the fourth was Crisis, Collapse and Reset. So, fourth turning, or civilization reset, as I prefer to call it, is chaos and war. You know, I hate to say it, but that's what it is. And you have a look around you with the civil unrest. You have a look at the fighting, Thailand, Cambodia, Ukraine, Russia. You have India, Pakistan. Now you have, of course, Iran, Israel. You have Israel, Gaza. I mean, it's going on bloody everywhere, you know. You have the threats with China and Taiwan. So you can see, and of course, that's all the riots as well in Paris and all the protests in the UK, the authoritarianism in Australia and, of course, UK. The sort of shutting you up to stop you speaking and stop you having an opinion. You know, it's going on, you know, in many Western societies. So we entered the current crisis in 2008 with a financial crash. Since then, it's been non-stop. So we've had austerity, we've had Brexit, pandemic lockdowns, mass migration still going on. You know, what a nonsense that is. AI and surveillance, sky-high debt and inflation. America, 37 trillion debt. UK, 2.77 trillion. Never mind the EU, which is trillions in debt. We have the collapse of pensions. You know, they're all struggling. It's just going on everywhere. The breakdown of trust in government, the breakdown in trust with media, even the monarchy. So, according to the fourth turning logic, this all builds towards a climax between 2032 and 2035. That could mean war, could mean world war, certainly civil unrest. We're seeing that now, but that's going to pick up pace. Economic reset, I think it has to happen because with all the debt that these countries are in, how the hell are they going to figure out their currencies? Or, you know, all three, you know, the chance that's all going to happen at the same time. So what happens after the crisis? Well, after a fourth turning, we enter new beginnings, a new first turning. But here's the big question. Will life actually get better or will it be more restricted and controlled? That's up to us. It's up to you. It's up to me. So will we continue fighting the agendas like CBDC, like digital ID? And I think we do need to keep fighting those because if we don't, then we'll end up in peaceful times after all the chaos and wars and all that stuff have just gone through, but a lot more restricted in our lives. So maybe, and this is a maybe, and this is, you know, a bit of my view and from research, maybe we could end up being restricted in our so-called 15-minute cities. Maybe we won't be able to use our petrol and diesel cars. Maybe you have to have digital ID, and unless you toe the party line, so to speak, you won't be able to go to a cinema, eat in a restaurant, buy your food. Basically, they can use it as punishment. So we do need to continue the fight, because if we don't, life could be a lot more restricted. If we do, life can be peaceful, a lot more peaceful than it is now since 2008 and moving forward to 2032. A lot more peaceful and, of course, a lot more freer. So, you know, that's the upside. In this vision, you know, the crisis teaches us lessons, and we come out stronger, freer, and more united. And I guess that's the ultimate goal, isn't it? To be more united together rather than apart. So it sort of explains a lot of the divisions and a lot of things going on that have divided people, and whether it's race, whether it's sexuality, anything else really. It's all sort of designed to devise. The change of culture, a lot of illegal immigration in the UK and across Europe, that can change the culture, it can change society, it causes civil unrest, it causes lots of division and fighting. So in a crisis, there's opportunity, which of course is a Chinese saying, ironically. But in a crisis, there's opportunity, and the opportunities are to invest. And if you want to take care of your financial future, then investing is the way to go. Now, I started investing not just in my own business, but many, many years ago into property. I'll make a video on that on the next one. Property, but of course crypto, and into my own company, which I sold to private equity 4 years ago now. So investing, I'm a big believer in, because if you are just sat there on a fixed salary with a bonus now and then, if you're lucky, with a 2% pay rise every year, if you're lucky, which doesn't even keep up with inflation, by the way, so your money's going backwards, then investing is the way to go. And in times of crisis, people fly for safety. And right now, what it seems to be showing is Bitcoin is safety, although volatile, but safety and growth. Gold is safety. Silver maybe is safety. And certain stocks. So when you're looking at corn, when you're looking at oil, wheat, these commodity kind of stocks, shares if you prefer to buy shares. But all of these elements during times of chaos and war do tend to climb over time. Not financial advice, of course. Do your own research. Better get that one in. So look, I hope this video helps. Please do share it. Subscribe if you want. You don't have to. I don't do it for subscriptions. It's nice to get, but I don't do it for that. What I do like is to learn as well. So please do leave a comment. I think that's valuable. And I always read them, and I will always reply. So thank you for listening, and I will see you or speak to you on the next one.